Welcome into Suwanee, Georgia, the site of our first SDH Network GHSA high school playoff game. Round of 16 in 7A. It is the Mill Creek Hawks visiting the North Gwinnett Bulldogs. Our high school playoff coverage is presented by Kaiser Permanente. Thank you so much to Kaiser Permanente for making these broadcasts possible and helping us cover Georgia high school soccer all over the state of Georgia. We're into the round of 16, and let's kick it for 40 minutes here in Suwanee. Hawks will take this a couple yards inside the attacking half once again, this time out wide on the right. Grazer delivers, top of the 18. Foul called, a push in the back as that one was played to the top of the 18. Honestly, did not see it. Referee was all over it, though, called it quickly, so this will be a free kick for Mill Creek. 23 yards out. If you're familiar with the American football lines here at North Gwinnett, this is on the right hash mark. It's kind of the ideal spot to take a free kick, honestly. Bella Sagstuin standing over it. She went to goal earlier from further out. This is on her right foot. Plenty of options on the back post if Sagstuin wants to float it that way. Sagstuin goes for the upper 90 off the crossbar and off the back of the goalkeeper and in. Goal! 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 Mill Creek. And the Mill Creek fans who made the trip making some noise for their Hawks. Sagstuin puts the free kick off the crossbar, and it comes off of the bar, off the back of the goalkeeper and in. It's one of the most unfortunate own goals that you can get. But that was coming out and would not have ended up in the back of the net if it doesn't go off the back of Aaliyah Lansing. Nothing Lansing can do about it, and it's 1-0 Mill Creek, and they're able to win the ensuing ball as the time ticks away, and that'll take us to halftime. Mill Creek on the own goal, the free kick taken by Bella Sagstuin off the crossbar, off the back of Aaliyah Lansing, and into the net as Mill Creek takes the 1-0 lead at halftime. It'll be the Bulldogs kicking off, moving from left to right on your radio dials. In the all black with red trim, Mill Creek in the all white. They'll be moving from right to left. Now let's kick it for 40 more minutes from Suwanee. North Gwinnett will get a throw in now in the attacking half. Ruby Manis. Cameron Martin heads it inside. Can't get to it first. It was Allie Stokely who did. Mill Creek clear to midfield to Finley. Out wide to the left of Vasquez. Vasquez on the dribble, cuts inside. Dribbles past one, holds off Martin. Martin did enough to interfere though. Pass intercepted. Istone Haupt. Out wide to the right to Michelle. Michelle dribbles past Hurd. Ariana Michelle driving into the middle. Slips a pass through. Cameron Martin turns to the left. Rides off a challenge. Left-footed shot. In goal! A left-footed rocket from Cameron Martin, and that levels it at 1-1. What a turn from Cameron Martin, her 23rd goal of the year, to go with 13 assists. Martin drove that with the left foot past Isa Furry, and it's 1-1 with 29:55 to play. Issa Ponza's left-footed shot low. Furry, great footwork to slide over and make the save, and that'll take us to overtime. Quick run to the fridge for some refreshments, some reinforcements. Get to it. We'll be right back after this on the SDH Network. But nothing has been decided, so let's kick it for 10 more in Suwanee. Creek defender, but the Hawks are able to run it down and clear. Barley settles it, plays it down the middle. Issa Ponza heads it forward. Stokely goes down. Here comes North Gwinnett. Furry is out for it, doesn't win it. Shots into the back of the net. Goal, 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 North Gwinnett. On a scramble, as it ended up falling forward. Mill Creek valiantly tried to find a way to clear it. They were unable to do so. Furry came out to try to get to it. But Wesley Istone-Haupt is able to put it into the back of the net. Not the prettiest of goals, but if it gets the Bulldogs to the quarterfinal, it'll be the most beautiful goal of their season. Time running. Grazer plays it down the middle. That will do it. North Gwinnett. Wesley Istone-Haupt. Her goal in overtime sends the Bulldogs on to the quarterfinals. Mill Creek, after a valiant effort, are unable to take this to penalties. Final score here in overtime in Suwanee. It's North Gwinnett 2, Mill Creek 1.
All right, time to go through the brackets and what happened yesterday. And Maddie, do you have your brackets ready?
I have a tab open with a bracket.
Okay.
I will pull up more as we go.
Yes. So we're going to go with the finals on the girls' side. And we're going to start with all the finals yesterday. We do have some carryover with matches today because of teams that had boys and girls getting home dates. And so there was some stuff that was postponed, as Maddie let us all know on the post-game show. So since we were at 7A last night on the girls' side, what happened in 7A girls last night that folks need to know about?
Oh, goodness. I didn't know I was jumping straight into it. Oh, goodness. I'm scouting.
You're jumping straight into it. So it's
let's do Division 1 first.
All right. So you're going to go single. You're going to build up and go A, 3, 5, and 7. That's what you're going to do?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
All right. So go Class A girls. What happened last night?
All right. Class A girls, Division 1.
Mm-hmm.
We have E. Lawrence, who beat Irwin County 4-0 at home. Then we have Social Circle beating Whitfield Academy 4-3. They will be moving on. So it'll be E. Lawrence versus Social Circle. Social Circle will host E. Lawrence. That will be in that top left quadrant of the bracket.
Yep.
Left would be here.
Yeah. Upper left. Upper left to me, it's right to you. So
yes.
That's what it is to you. That's what it is to me. So
absolutely.
Think in a mirror.
Yes. You have to flip it. It's like a funhouse mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Atlanta International moving on after a 3-0 victory away. It was an upset. They beat Rabun County. So Atlanta International is now moving on, and they will face off against Lamar County. They will face off because they beat Bryan County 2-0.
And so Atlanta International was a 4 seed. They went to Tiger last night, took on Rabun County. And so they're going to Barnesville in 5 days' time for the next go-round. All right, so that's upper right. You went upper left to upper right. Where are you going? You're going to go low left now?
I'm going to go low left now.
All right.
Low left. Left. So Mount Vernon and Tallulah Falls have not played yet. I'm assuming because I believe it's the boys and the girls that will be a doubleheader that should be happening maybe today. Or another day, but that one is not listed right now. But we have Meter, who beat Temple in PKs.
Yeah, Metter won in PKs yesterday.
Metter, yes. Metter beat Temple in PKs, and so Metter's moving on. So Metter will face off against whoever the winner is of Tallulah Falls and Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon and Tallulah Falls is a 5 o'clock matchup this afternoon. We're going to have a couple of other matchups this afternoon. 5 o'clock, Lowndes and Campbell. We'll get to that one in 7A. Mount Vernon and Tallulah Falls is a 5 o'clocker. Oglethorpe County at Paideia. That one is a 5:30. and Northview and Loganville. When we get to that matchup, that's the only night game tonight. Northview and Loganville is 7 o'clock. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, not quite 5, but 4 girls matchups carried over from yesterday, and they will be today. So what's going on in Class A Division 2?
Let's do it. Let's go to
Flick.
class.
Hit that
Division
tab.
2.
Hit that tab.
I'm hitting it. Alrighty. So Portal beat Georgia Military Academy 6-0, and that was at home. So Portal is now moving on. And then Aquinas beat Mount Zion 5-0 as well. So it will be Portal versus Aquinas going on, and it'll be at Portal as well. So they will host once again at home, which home field advantage is so important. So you want that.
Yep.
Moving on, going into that right, the top right, we have Wheeler County beat Dooley County 4-0, and that is also at home. So not a lot of upsets yet. Only one so far that we've seen in Division 1. And then Lake Oconee Academy beat Lincoln County 4-0. So it'll be Lake Oconee Academy versus Wheeler County. That'll be at Lake Oconee. And then we got Atlanta Class beat Chattanooga. Chattahoochee
County.
Sorry, I got my things mixed up. We have Chattanooga FC tonight. I'm Chattahoochee County. So Atlanta Class beat Chattahoochee County 5-0. So Atlanta Class is moving on, and they will face off against Johnson County because Johnson County beat Atkinson County 1-0. So that was an upset.
Yep, it was Team 3. The way that things are in Class A Division 2 is that since they do not have a full 32-team component in Class A Division 2, they seed teams and they go with buys. And so Johnson County was basically the number 3 seeded team low right in your brackets. They beat Atkinson County in Pearson yesterday. They were the number 2. And so Johnson County, they went on the road. They got the win, and they're having to go to Atlanta Classical Academy as they are the number 1 team in that particular bracket. And so that's how things lay out in Class A Division 2 only. They're seeded because they don't have 32 teams to make the playoffs. They will after reclassification, but this will be the last year for that particular item. AAA girls. What happened in AAA girls?
Let's do it. Wait, I'm losing my bracket. These play today. AAA. Yeah. I got my things mixed up. AAA. Let's go to AAA. So AAA, Pike County beat Harlem 3-0 at home. And so Pike County will face off at home against Dawson County because Dawson County beat Stevens County 6-1, a 7-goal game. Crazy.
Yep.
And then let's go to the right side.
Okay.
And we got Wesleyan won 7-0. They are moving on. They will play at home. They will play up against St. Vincent's because St. Vincent's beat Richmond Academy 2-0. And no, it is not Richmond, like AFC Richmond that you think of. No, it is Richmond Academy.
It is. Yeah, they are based in Augusta, and their official name is the Academy of Richmond County. So it is flipped in when you're writing it down, but it is technically the Academy of Richmond County, ARC. So Richmond Academy loses to St. Vincent's. St. Vincent's goes through as a 2 seed. They're going to travel to Wesleyan. We've had Wesleyan on the SDH network playing against Calhoun. It was one of our spring break games. And Wesleyan, very, very prolific offensively. They've scored 17 goals in the first 2 rounds. It will be really interesting to see what happens on Spalding Drive in Norcross in 5 days' time when St. Vincent's visits upper right in AAA. What happened on the lower half of the bracket?
Lower half of the bracket, Savannah Country Day beat Morgan County. That was going to PKs. I saw it, and I saw 2-2, and I got confused. It went to PKs. So Savannah Country Day, they will be moving on into the quarterfinals, and they will be facing off against Oconee County because they beat Lumpkin County 4-0. Now, only one part of that, the right bottom side is filled out because I believe Columbus is playing Mary Persons today. So that matchup, we will know that after today is done. But it was Bremen. Bremen beat Monroe area 5-1. And so that will be the matchup there.
Yeah, Bremen goes through as a top seed. So if Bremen, if Columbus beats Mary Persons, Columbus is a 1. So Bremen would travel to Columbus. The way that the tiebreaker is in the quarterfinals and the semifinals, it's posted on the GHSA's website at ghsa.net. You have the executive director, Dr. Robin Hines, flipping a coin, and he lets you know for the quarters and the semis, it's the bottom part of the bracket. So bottom was where you're going to be traveling to. So if Columbus beats Mary Persons, then Bremen travels to Columbus. If Mary Persons, as the 2 seed, wins that one, Mary Persons would travel to Bremen, and that would set things up low right in AAA. So what happened in 5A on the girls' side?
Let's go 5A. Let's look. All right. So it was Tucker and Northside. And so Northside beat Tucker 4-1. That was another upset. Northside came in and beat Tucker at home. Crazy. A couple upsets. As we got up the bracket, a couple more upsets came in. But Midtown and GAC came out with the win. Another upset. They beat Midtown 2-1 at home. So it'll be Northside versus GAC going up, and it'll be at GAC in that top left corner. And then moving on to the right side, we had Northview and Loganville. Loganville, that game is not kicked off yet. That will happen today. And then also yesterday, McIntosh beat Chambly 1-0 at Chambly. So McIntosh will move on, and whoever wins against Northview and Loganville, they will go to face them off at McIntosh High School.
Yep.
So
they
we'll
get that one to talk about.
Yeah, that one will be a fun one, especially because I believe Chambly came in, I believe, as the number 1 seed.
Yeah, they were they won their region, and they got national attention. They have players that are internationally recognized. Soleil Washington being one of them, and Soleil had declared to Florida State, and there were some other players that did not get the start from match day 1 with Chambly. As the season went along, Chambly got to fuller and fuller strength, but the coaching Kreitners at McIntosh got the win 1-0, and so McIntosh moves on, and Chambly ends their season a lot sooner than they would have liked.
Yeah. Again, many upsets. It happens everywhere. I feel like in playoffs, it's always something that happens no matter which sport you watch.
Mm-hmm.
There's always an underdog that comes in and just sweeps in and steals it. But Northgate beat Decatur 2-1. So Northgate is moving on. They will face off against Jefferson because Jefferson beat Chattahoochee 3-2. And then as well, going on to that far bottom right area, we have Cambridge and Clark. So then Clark Central. So Cambridge beat Clark Central 6-0. So Cambridge is moving on. They'll play against Greenbrier because Greenbrier beat Harris County 9-0.
And in that one, in this particular classification, with Northside Columbus, you have a 4 seed that's won 2 games. So a 4 seed is charged out of their mini bracket. GAC knocks off Midtown as a 2 seed. Midtown was favored in a lot of folks that were filling out their brackets in 5A girls to be a favorite to take it all. GAC knocks them off. So once again, you mentioned GAC is going to host Northside Columbus. Loganville and Northview once again. Loganville being a 2, Northview being a 4. Doesn't matter who wins that when you're traveling to McIntosh. Low left, Northgate. They had 9 on the board in round number 1. They squeaked by Decatur. So Northgate's a 1, Jefferson's a 1. Once again, same seeds, goes to the bottom team. And so they're traveling to Jefferson. Cambridge, prolific offensively. They've scored 13 goals in their first 2 games. They're traveling to Greenbrier. Greenbrier has scored 19 in their first 2. So that gets us through 5A. So what happened in 7A?
Well, 7A, we were at one of the 7A matches last night. So I'm going to switch it up. I'm starting in the top right corner because that's where they are. North Gwinnett beat Mill Creek 2-1 in a crazy match. Highlights and post game will be posted here on the network later on today. So if you want to catch up with everything that happened last night, it'll be there. So North Gwinnett will now host another game as well. They will face off against Harrison because Harrison beat Brookwood 3-1, and that was at home for Brookwood. So now Harrison will travel to North Gwinnett, and they will face off there in that quadrant. And then last, I'm going to move back to the top left. So Campbell did not play last night. due to it being both girls and boys were playing. So it will be a double header tonight. So once that matchup is done, whoever wins that matchup, they will face off against Walton, because Walton beat Denmark 3-0. So that's that top little area. So once we know all that, that will get put in. Moving on to the bottom left, we have Hillgrove beat Camden County 5-0. And then Buford beat Milton 1-0. So it'll be Hillgrove going to Buford for that quarterfinal. And then moving on to the far right side, we have West Forsyth beat Mountain View 6-2. So it'll be West Forsyth, and then North Paulding will be going to West Forsyth because they beat Richmond Hall 2-0.
Yeah, Richmond Hill down on the coast, and a really good up-and-coming program down on the coast with Richmond Hill. We've caught up with the folks on the Hill on a couple of different occasions. It's been really cool to see them grow to where they are right now. You mentioned Mary Persons in Columbus. That is a doubleheader at Otis Spencer Stadium this afternoon. And it will be looking at the Mary Persons High School calendar, it's a 6 and an 8, technically. If there's nothing going on after 80 minutes, Columbus and Mary Persons, 6 o'clock the girls, 30 minutes after the girls' match is completed, then it will be the boys. So if you are in the Western Frontier and you want to catch a doubleheader, go to Otis Spencer Stadium and catch up with the doubleheader with Mary Persons and Columbus, and that will determine both of those teams, the boys and the girls. And so once again, taking a peek at 7A before we let you know what's going on with the matchups today. We'll walk you through those. Once again, Lowndes and Campbell. Campbell being the one. If Campbell wins, they go to Walton. So Lowndes wins, you go to Walton as a 2. Campbell wins. The coin flip means you go to the bottom of the bracket. North Gwinnett, we talked about that one. Harrison gets to visit. They've only have one loss in the season. Ryan Burkhart and the Bulldogs know they're going to have their hands full in 5 days' time. Hillgrove at Buford. Buford continues to work their way through the left-hand side of the bracket. Hillgrove saw them in the first round have no problem with Pebblebrook in a rain-lengthened match. Sorry, a thunder and lightning lengthened match. And so Hillgrove they've got 15 goals on the board in their first 2 games. They're going to travel to Buford, and then West Forsyth hosting North Paulding, and West Forsyth as the 1 seed, North Paulding going on the road all the way down to the coast. So that sets us up for today. And we'll go to the boys' side of things and let everybody know what's going on. So we will close off our girls' bracket and go to the boys' brackets and find out what's going on as Maddie walks us through the brackets today. And I guess we're going to start in Class A D1 boys and go up.
Yes.
All right. So Class A D1 boys, what's going on?
Absolutely. I'm trying to remember if it's an even or an odd day today.
Well, it's the odds. It's the other half of the equation. So since we had odds girls yesterday, it's odds boys today, and it will be evens girls tomorrow and evens boys in day number 4. So that's where we are.
Got it. Okay. So Class A Division 1 for boys. For today, E. Lawrence will face off against Brooks County today. Mm-hmm. That will be at E. Lawrence. And then you have Padilla hosting Albert County. And so that will be at Padilla. And then Paideia, excuse me. And then we have Barrow will be at home. They will be bringing in Whitfield Academy. That will be today as well. And then Lamar County will be facing off against Metter as well. That will be at Lamar. So Metter will have to go there. That'll be a fun matchup as well. Then we have Woodville Tomp will be at home, and they will bring in Temple. Temple will be going there to face off against them today. Tallulah Falls will be at home, and they will face off against Mount Vernon. And then you have Atlanta International will be hosting Rabun County, and then you have Bacon County will be hosting Jefferson County.
So in Class A D1, East Lawrence, they won by the 10-goal margin in their round number 1, as did Brooks. And you will see in the lower classifications, especially on the boys' side, that you will have these wide margins. Lower classifications, you will have wide margins when it comes to margins of victory in a lot of these first-round matchups. But you are seeing in Georgia high school soccer, you're seeing the margins closing. And so it's you're seeing programs that are getting started, programs working from scratch, and they're working their way forward and growing as well within the state. But yes, you will see, especially in the lower classifications, a lot of wide margin victories in round number 1. Like I said, Brooks County had theirs was 10. East Lawrence had theirs. It was 10. On the right-hand side, as Maddie was going through it, Barrow Arts came through as a 2 seed. They're a new program. They're up and coming as well. They're making some inroads, and they get to host Whitfield Academy. We talked about Metter on the girls' side, and Metter gets through on the boys' side with their home match against Bleckley County. Lamar had a bye because there are not 4 teams in Region 1 this year. In the after reclassification, you will have things shorten up, and you will have 4 teams in regions. You will have 4 teams qualify. So Metter gets to travel to Barnesville to take on Lamar County. Woodville Tompkins, you're used to seeing them as a basketball power in the Savannah area, but now you're seeing them in soccer now as well. And for Temple, this is what my dear friend Tommy Palmer used to say was a pack a lunch and a dinner trip, because Temple is out I-20 like you're heading to the Alabama border. It is one of the last exits as you're heading out toward the Alabama line, and they have to go from one end of the world. They got to go from Temple. They have to go from Temple, Georgia, to Savannah, basically, to play this matchup against Woodville Tompkins. And they probably left a couple of hours ago, and so it was probably a good breakfast for the Temple Tigers. And they're heading to Woodville Tompkins to take on Woodville Tompkins. Mount Vernon and Tallulah Falls. We talked about that one. And so we know that Tallulah Falls, once again, a very, very small program in Class A, and they are now into the second round. They put up a big number in round number 1. Low right, Rabun County, we talked about them on the girls' side. Atlanta International put up a big number in round number 1. Then Jeffco beat Claxton. Bacon County, once again, Region 4 did not have 4 teams that were playing soccer, so Bacon County got the first round bye, and so it will be Jeffco and Bacon County in round number 2 today. Class A Division II boys, what's going on?
They're playing soccer.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Absolutely playing soccer.
Sorry, I was buying time for me to click through it to get to where I needed to go.
Nothing wrong with filibustering. Absolutely.
Okay, so Lake Oconee Academy will be hosting Atlanta Classic.
Mm-hmm.
They will be at Lake Oconee Academy today. And then you have Wheeler County hosting Towns County today as well. And then you have Montgomery County hosting Macon County. Georgia Military will be hosting Wilkes.
Yeah, Washington Wilkes, right.
Washington Wilkes.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
You can't if you try to put the whole thing on there, you're going like into margins and things like that.
Yeah, well, because I'm like looking at some of them and I'm like, is it what I think it is or is it not what I think it is? So I don't want to say it wrong. So I just am saying the abbreviation.
Go by the abbreviation that's on the bracket. Absolutely. All right, that's the upper half, lower half.
Awesome. So we got the lower cap. We got Fugues Academy will be hosting.
Oh, the Fuji's Academy.
The Fuji's Academy. They will be hosting Aquinas.
Our friends from Aquinas. You had it. We saw Aquinas on the boys' side or the girls' side.
So they will be facing off on the boys' side as well. They will be going home there, so they will be the visitor, and so that will be a fun one. And then we have Atkinson County hosting Mount Zion. They will be at Atkinson County High School, and that will be another fun matchup.
Yep.
And then we have Eccles County hosting Portal tonight as well. And then we have Christian Heritage hosting Chattahoochee County as well.
Yeah. So looking at Class A D2, some familiar faces on both sides where Atlanta Classical Academy, they had a 6-goal win in round number 1. Lake Oconee Academy, because they were seeded higher, they were a number 1 or a 2 seed. They got the first round bye. Once again, we talk about how there's not 32 teams in Class A Division II. So they go to a seeding system and they drop folks in. I think it's 28 teams that are in the Class A D2 brackets. Towns County, Wheeler County. We mentioned Wheeler County in on the other side of the equation with the girls. Macon County and Montgomery County. Montgomery County was the 2 seed in the upper right-hand region, upper right-hand bracket. GMC and Washington Wilkes. Washington Wilkes put up a number against Trutland. They won by 6. And then Fuji's Academy is another great story. Team number 2 seeded out of area number 4. And Atkinson County, here's your piece of intel on Atkinson County. Once again, both teams seated highly, both boys and girls. The boys head coach at Atkinson County High School, I caught up with the AD Carl McGowan yesterday, is their cross-country coach. So you have a female coach for the boys soccer team. And what she tries to do is she tries to have the cross-country athletes involved in the soccer program as a way to try and cross-train their way through a calendar year. So very, very cool stuff with Coach McKinnon down there at Atkinson County. Area 1, team number 1, so the number 1 seed low left. And then on the right-hand side, great to see a team like Eccles County do really well in the non-revenue sports. And they're the number 2 team in the low right bracket. They get to host Portal. So for Portal, it is a pack-a-lunch and a dinner trip. And you mentioned Chatco and Christian Heritage. So you're going from Casita to Dalton. And that is, once again, yet another pack-a-lunch and a dinner and possibly a midnight snack trip. So it'll be a long day for folks in Class A D2. What's going on in AAA?
Alrighty, in AAA, Pike County will be hosting Thomasville, and Sandy Creek will be hosting Brenman. And then Wesleyan will be hosting Oconee County. Morgan County will be hosting Peach County. I didn't even know we had a Peach County in Georgia.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, we do. It is Fort Valley. So basically you travel 75 south and you are south of Macon heading toward Warner Robins, and you have the choice of going west and you go to Peach County and to Fort Valley, or you go east and actually you pass through Fort Valley down 75 as you're heading south toward Florida, or you can go east and go to Warner Robins at one of the exits. But literally there is the Georgia 49 exit is where you turn right at the off-ramp heading south and you go into Fort Valley. Fort Valley, by the way, is where the Bluebird buses are made. All the Bluebird buses, they have a Bluebird bus factory in Fort Valley. It's one of the things that Fort Valley is known for, other than the peaches and the Lane Orchard. But yeah, they construct the Bluebird buses. All those yellow hounds that you see driving kids around, they're Bluebird buses. They're made in Fort Valley, Georgia.
Nice. But moving
on. The more you know graphic, I guess, right now.
a little quick fact.
Yes.
You learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
Moving into the bottom half, we have Savannah Country Day hosting Richmond Academy. I believe another matchup like that we've seen. And then Hebron Christian will be hosting Dawson County as well. And then we have Kalula Christian hosting Monroe area. Mm-hmm. And then Columbus hosting Mary Persons.
Yeah, we talked about that doubleheader that's going on. So recapping AAA, Pike County doing really well on both the boys and the girls sides, hosting Thomasville. Sandy Creek gets Bremen. Oconee County, upper right, gets Wesleyan. Wesleyan and Oconee County both put up big numbers in round number 1. Peach County's at Morgan County. ARC gets to travel from Augusta to Savannah. Dawson County goes to Hebron Christian. And Monroe area to Coahulla Creek. So it's basically going from halfway between Atlanta and Athens out 78, having to go all the way to Dalton. So they probably have left and they're on their way to Coahulla Creek, the Monroe area Purple Hurricanes, and Mary Persons and Columbus. We talked about that doubleheader. So 5A, what's going on?
5A, let's scout.
Yes.
If my thing would load. There we go. It worked now. I love my MacBook, but sometimes it doesn't do what I want it to do.
It does not behave.
It does not behave. All righty. So in 5A, we got Eagles Landing hosting Chamblee tonight.
Jason's keeping an eye on.
Absolutely. And then we have Midtown hosting Centennial. And then moving on to the right side, we have Cass hosting Chapel Hill, and then Tucker hosting Northgate. You have Clark Central hosting Dalton, McIntosh hosting Cross Keys. You have Harris County hosting Decatur, and you have Chattahoochee hosting Heritage.
Heritage Conyers. And there's a Heritage Catoosa and a Heritage Conyers. This is the Conyers variety. But yeah, Chamblee and Eagles Landing. Jason, the Eagles Landing high alum, is going to be keeping an eye on that one. Centennial and Midtown trying to get to the last game of the year again. Chapel Hill and Cass on the right-hand side, Northgate and Tucker. Tucker's a 1, Cass is a 1, so keep an eye on those two. But everything funnels to Tucker if chalk continues to happen on the upper right. Cross Keys, McIntosh, Dalton, and Clark Central. That is the bracket that you need to pay attention to all night long. The quadrant in 5A, it's insane. McIntosh, 6 on the board in round number 1. Cross Keys, we got to see them this season on the SDH Game of the Week. Dalton and Clark Central, 4 heavyweights, 1 quadrant, insane. Keep an eye on that one. And then low right, Chattahoochee is the 1 seed. Had 4 on the board in their win over Woodland Cartersville. Heritage Conyers, 1 on the road, 1 is a 3 seed. Harris County, 1 is a 3 seed at Warner Robins. And then Decatur beat Greenbrier. So that's what you have in 5A. The last bracket to look at, 7A boys. What do we know?
7A boys. Let's look. Let's do it. Listen. This is my alma mater. We got Campbell hosting South Gwinnett, Walton hosting Lambert.
Mm-hmm.
Hook 'em horns.
There you go. That's what I figured.
We have Discovery hosting Osborne, Grayson hosting Coweta.
East Coweta. Yep.
Yes. And then we have Archer hosting Carrollton, Collins Hill hosting Milton. That will be actually a good one.
Yep.
That one I'll have to keep an eye on for, because that one will be a good one. Then obviously we have Kennesaw Mountain hosting North Gwinnett. And then Pebblebrook will be going to Colquitt County.
Yep. Yeah, the Colquitt County, heading down to Moultrie and the Hog Pen. So 7A, South Gwinnett and Campbell. South Gwinnett posted a big number at Richmond Hill in round number 1. Lambert and Walton, I know that Maddie's paying attention to that one. Upper right, Discovery as the 1 seed. Everything is funneling to them, so Osborne has to go on the road. Grayson is the 1 seed. Everything is funneling to them for the next round because, once again, remember, your brackets go to the lower seed if everything is tied. Low left, Carrollton won in an 8-round shootout as a 4 seed over Hillgrove. And Carrollton wins at 8-7 in the PKs after regulation finished at 2. They go to Archer as a 4 seed. Milton takes on Collins Hill. Collins Hill got a shutout of North Cobb in round number 1. Kennesaw Mountain, North Gwinnett. We had Chris Leone on the show in hour number 1. Pebblebrook and Colquitt County. Colquitt County is the 1 seed. They knocked off Brookwood at home in Moultrie in round number 1. Pebblebrook is coming to town, so we'll see what happens low right. And once again, thanks to Chris Leone for letting us know what's going on at North Gwinnett. And in 2 days' time, it'll be River Ridge. And it was great to catch up with Coach Thomas as well and find out what's going on with the number 2 ranked team in the country in some polls. So that one was fun. Final thoughts before we get out of here for another round of Soccer's in Session as we get ready for Atlanta United 2 and Chattanooga FC.
Oh, gosh. So much soccer is happening. Oh, so much soccer is happening. I look at my phone and I look at the calendar and it's literally every hour of every day. It's soccer, this league, that league. Keep it going. There's the calendar. There it is. Mm-hmm. I have to fill out mine. Every time I look at it, it's from last week and I haven't filled her out yet. So I have to do that today. But good fun stuff. I'm excited. I love playoffs. I think getting to be a part of my first Georgia playoffs for soccer, it's been a lot of fun so far, and I'm excited to see where all this goes.
No doubt about it. That's another go-round of Soccer's in Session Live presented by our friends at Kaiser Permanente. Kaiser Permanente, for all that is you. We're going to track down coaches. That is our vow and promise, that we will have coaches in the noon hour, get you through your brackets, get you through all your stuff. But yeah, round 2, day 2, that is where we are. We will once again tomorrow be in Perry. Jason will be in Perry for Trinity Christian. And for Perry, that is a 6 o'clock kick. So he'll be on the air a little before 6 o'clock here on the SDH network. That's Madison Cruz. That's Madison Cruz. See, I have to think about this this way. So that's Maddie. I'm John. Thanks for hanging out with us for another round of Soccer's in Session Live presented by Kaiser Permanente. See you tonight from Kennesaw for MLS Next Pro here on the SDH network.